Hey guys, what's going on? Tenebrous here. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about another very common argument leveled at 1.8 PvPers by 1.9 supporters. And that is the claim, in essence, that 1.8 PvP and below is basically just all spam clicking, and therefore it should be gotten rid of because spam clicking requires no skill. Now, I've already responded to the specific claim that 1.8 PvP requires no skill, and I basically demonstrated how it's practically impossible for that to be the case, and of course people had some responses like it's the gaming setup or whatever, which basically just avoids the question, and that's still not an adequate answer. Obviously, 1.8 PvP requires skill, but I have not really gone over the specific criticism that 1.8 PvP is just spam clicking, and because it's spam clicking, it's a bad thing or it requires less skill. Now, first of all, it's important to understand that you can only attack someone or do damage to an opponent every 500 MS in Minecraft, or around 10 ticks. Now, you might be like, Tenebrous, why are you telling us this? We already know about this, you know? We've known about this for the longest time. Well, that's because 1.9 supporters are more than willing to use this fact to kind of counter what we have to say negatively about the hit cooldown. They'll say stuff like, oh, well, the hit cooldown doesn't matter because you can only attack someone every 500 MS or 10 ticks, so, like, why are you complaining about the hit cooldown? And then, simultaneously, they'll have the position for spam clicking, saying spam clicking requires no skill, which doesn't really make any sense, because if you think about it, that would mean, according to them, the damage cooldown already present in 1.8 would actually prevent, quote-unquote, spam clicking from actually giving players an advantage in 1.8, which defeats their entire argument. But I don't know, I thought that was a little interesting tidbit of information for you guys, so you guys can see that their position is not really consistent. But anyway, let's go on and tackle the actual argument. 1.8 PvP is just spam clicking. Now, as I just said, the 500 MS or 10 tick cooldown does prevent you from damaging the opponent more than, you know, twice a second. However, I've talked about in previous videos how higher CPS can help you with, like, it lowers velocity, and you can actually get a hit slightly before if you have higher CPS because of the time between the damage cooldown running out and you attacking them. And basically, my point is that higher CPS than 1.8 does in fact give you an advantage, but not exactly in terms of the raw number of attacks. It gives you an advantage in different ways. But the argument is that the spam clicking requires no skill. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but I have absolutely no clue how clicking faster is not a skill. Like, how is that not a skill? Certain players know how to jitter click. That is absolutely a skill. Not everyone knows how to jitter click. You have to learn how to do that. You don't just go on a computer and then all of a sudden click 13 CPS. You have to learn that. That's obviously a skill. How is that not a skill? I don't understand the logic. Now, despite the obvious fact that spam clicking requires skill, the 1.9 supporter will then shift the goalposts and basically say, oh well, 1.8 PvP might require skill and spam clicking might require skill, but timing your attacks requires more skill. And I really don't see this argument as valid, because if you really think about it, you're really comparing apples to oranges here. These are totally different combat systems. And also, in the past, I've gone over the fact that 1.8 PvP can also essentially be timing based as well. So once again, it's basically apples to oranges. You can't say one is more skilled definitely than the other. So I know I said something a little bit different about that in my previous video, but that's my revised opinion. I think that they're just different. I told you why I prefer a certain one, but they both definitely require skill. Anyway, another glaring problem with this is the idea that they could just reduce all of 1.8 combat to spam clicking. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. There's so many more mechanics to 1.8 combat that I haven't even gone into that aren't just spam clicking. There are so many different mechanics in 1.8 other than just spam clicking, like rotting, strafing, the knockback mechanic. You know, like, there's just so many different things. Like, I mean, I could go over, like, block placement, which a lot of this stuff is in 1.9. It's just because of the hit cooldown and other features in 1.9, all this stuff is kind of changed to the point that it's less useful than it was before, and that's what I'm really objecting to. But to kind of reduce 1.8 PvP to say that it's spam clicking and that therefore it requires no skill doesn't make any sense at all. So that's pretty much my take on this. If you have any criticisms or comments, comment down below. Make sure you join my Discord, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.